Quite a dramatic day yesterday. We all saw the pictures. We all saw how it all unfolded, and it ended the day with the sack of the Director General of the DSS. But I want you to share your thoughts in terms of how you interpreted yesterday's events and also the Nigerian Bar Association. You put out a statement,
yes,
of course, condemning what happened yesterday. But I want to hear your own perspective.
Well, I think the interesting thing, maybe starting with the Bar Association, is that the current administration came in 2 years ago. And as they came in, the very first statement that the President issued was in respect to a similar act of unlawfulness, and I would say attack on government by the DSS when hooded men broke into homes of judges of various levels. And I think the whole world condemned that. And this administration is living, and they're living again, you know, on a bang of, again, coming heavily against what is clearly unconstitutional and unlawful. What I see is a breach of Section 1(2) of the Constitution of the country, which says no one or anybody or any institution should try to take over any part of government. And clearly, the National Assembly is a whole arm of the three arms of government that we have. Boiled down, it could amount to treasonable felony. It could amount to inciting mutiny, because those who gave the order must have given orders for officers to carry out acts that are a breach of the oath of allegiance and duties to the Nigerian people. And obviously, you know, it's a breach of a number of laws that govern operations of the National Assembly. But coming down to the political space, I mean, what is reported is that there was an attempt to change leadership of the National Assembly. Well, this is what is said, and if that is so, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because we're in a democratic setup. And Section 50, subsection 2C of the Constitution provides that the Senate President and the Speaker can be removed at any time by the members of their various houses, requiring 2/3 of members of either house that intend to replace its leader. And then you have Section 54 of the Constitution itself, which provides for a quorum for such seating, which is 1/3. It says of all the members. So it's not a difficult process. It's a very easy process. A number of Senate presidents and speakers have been removed, especially by Obasanjo, who, in his time, who sought to change of leadership of both the...
Okay, if that is the case, and I mean, you put it quite, it looks simple, you put it quite simply, what would, or the APC, what would they have done, the lawmakers who wanted to effect this change, what would they have done as a first step?
Yes, so, I mean, the first thing is to bear in mind that the constituted authority of both houses had adjourned sitting until much later. So the first thing is that it would have been illegal on any account for anyone else to convene a meeting of either house. So, that could not be possible. So, I mean, what they should have done is to wait until the House is properly constituted, ensure there is...
At the agreed date of when they would reconvene?
Yes, or if constituted authority, brings them back earlier, which is possible, and which indeed we had intended to do, to consider the budget of INEC and maybe environment by federal government. So just wait for that meeting, ensure there is 1/3 of members to ensure there's a quorum, and move the motion. And 2/3 vote for it, they go. As simple as that.
But now that all of this has happened,
yes,
and also to quickly point out that the presidency did come out to dissociate itself from this in a statement. But for the APC, the ruling APC, who's
yes,
also at the heart of this, they obviously came out with a statement. First of all, they condemned the act, they called for an investigation, but they put out another statement saying that if it hadn't been for the presence of the security forces on the premises, they alleging that they got word that some senators from the PDP, from the PDP were coming to form in trouble. And I'm saying, okay, so what does that say? What does that mean?
I think it's absolutely disgraceful. And, you know, I like to hope that it's not true, that Comrade Omoshomole, who is supposed to be a man of the people, would have said so. It beggars imagination to think he would suggest that distinguished members of the Senate would, you know, get up in arms and, you know, it results in what would amount to insurrection or breakdown of law and order. So I just cannot imagine how. And we saw the Senate president on YouTube sitting with his deputy, describing how members of, or you know, officers of DSS came in. We all saw them hooded, but they said they, you know, they invaded the place, probably the same way they invaded homes of Supreme Court and High Court judges, which is absolutely appalling. I mean, yes, law and order must be kept, but the first thing is this: the law that sets up DSS doesn't allow it to do these things. We have the Nigerian police. If there's breakdown of law and order. And
I know that you're also thinking to yourself, on whose authority do you think the DSS could have, because the presidency, what we hear from reports is that the DG was asked and couldn't provide a specific name or authority where the order came from.
Yes. Well, I mean, we can only guess, but those officers, I'm nearly certain, could not have acted on their own. We'll come to the question of what they did another day and whether they shouldn't be tried themselves. So it's either the former head of DSS acted of his own volition or acted in concert with some people. I hope, as the Senate President has suggested, there is an investigation of these events and all those that are connected with this are brought to book, because it's a disgrace to the nation. It's a rape on our constitution, on our democracy.